guys, it is Carl Brown for GuitarLessons365.com. Today we're going to finish our look at Now That We're Dead by Metallica by checking out Kirk Hammett's solo and the little kind of a solo riff section that happens coming out of it that's played by James Hetfield. So we're going to start here with the Kirk Hammett solo. So let's start here. Let me turn this wah off. Okay, now, so we're going to start with this opening lick, which is just sliding into the, still in, in a standard tuning, sliding into the 12th fret on the G string, and then you pull off to the open G, and then back to the G. So we have this, and then just repeat that lick a few times. All right, and then after you do that, he starts to just do a consistent trill. So you're just gonna hammer on the 12th fret, pull off to the open G, and you might want to mute the strings around it. But what he's also doing is he's doing a dive bomb there. So he's just grabbing the trim bar and just letting that go, and then come out of that, it's another little dive just on the open G string. All right, now we have our first really cool lick here, and it looks like this. All right, so he does that again later in the song, but what we're going to do here is it's a repeated lick that we're going to pull off 15 to 14 to 12 on the B string. Then we're going to have the 15th fret on the G string over to the 12th fret on the B. So this. So it's kind of the first half of it. Now you're going to pull off 15, 14, 12 on the G. And this time go down to the 14th fret on the D string, then back up to the 12th fret on the G. So this is really the lick. Like, say this is a scale. So he's just doing a lick on these two strings. And then he does it down here. Of course, the note is not on the 15th fret on the D string, it's on the 14th. So we have this. So we repeat that lick twice. Then he has this little ending to it, which is a little bend at the 14th fret, then play 14, 12 on the G, over to 14 on the D, and then play that 14, 12 on the G again, over to 14 on the D. So we have this. All right, now he goes back to this next phrase, which is the same lick, but it has a different ending. So it's that same little lick that we did, done twice, once again. And then he just does a series of bends, keeps bending higher and higher off the 14th fret on the G string. So you just keep bending, pick it over and over. All right, so you just do that and end out on the last note. Then we get to the next section where he really kicks in the wah pedal, but I won't bug you with that. It's just. All right, so that's going to be back here at the 9th fret here on the G string with your 3rd finger. So you pick it a few times, pull off to 7. Over to 9 on the D, back to 7. And then you're going to grab this double stop, 7th fret on the G and 8th fret on the B string. And you can slightly bend them up. So we have this. Now you do the same thing. Start with the same lick, except now you're going to grab the double stop 2 frets higher. So you can just grab it with your 3rd and 4th finger if you want. So it's the 9th fret on the G and the 10th fret on the B. And you pick those and just kind of slightly bend them up. So this. And then back to the first way of playing it. Back to this initial double stop, and this time he does a slow bend with a bar, so it's an up bend. So you really have to kind of pull the bar back. to get it to go up in pitch. So we have this. All right. Now the ending section is really a lot of wah and just kind of really fast little bluesy licks that he's known for, but it's not really something that you're going to get note for note. He's just doing a kind of a sequence of different licks with the wah, so it's just kind of it's really going to be impossible to pick it all out. But it starts the same way. So he's going to start with that same lick, and he goes over to the 8th fret there on the beat, and then he jumps up here to the 12th position here, and just for a couple of times he just does a quick. These are common licks that he plays a lot, pulling off 15 to 12 on the high E, then the beat. So do it like maybe twice. And then he quickly goes over to the B string, and like these are just hyper fast. So, which is just a bend on the 14th fret on the G, over to 12 on the B, and then pull off 14 to 12. So it's a little 4-note lick, and he just repeats it at 1,000,000 miles an hour. And occasionally he'll go up there and grab that 15th fret, but like I said, it's kind of erratic, so it's just meant to be that way. So we just kind of he ends it down here on the 14th fret on the D string with a couple of hits there. All right, so that's it for Kirk Hammett solo. Now coming out of that, we have a really cool part played by James Hetfield. Now this part is got some tricky rhythms in it, so let me play through it real quick for you, and then we'll take a look at it. So that's got some pretty tricky rhythms at the very beginning of it. So let's take a look at this. We're going to start on just a low E string. So that rhythm that he's playing there, it would be one of them would be on the downbeat, and then the next would be on the upbeat of the next beat. So it's always on a downbeat then upbeat. So that's how that feels kind of weird. All right, and then he gets into the main riff there, which looks like this. So that little pattern, for the most part, there's some little overdubs that keep coming in there, especially as they keep repeating the riff. But the main thing that he's playing there is just on the low E open string, and muted, of course, but we had this. It starts with a down, then down, up, so like this. So one more time, down, down, up, down, up. Then we have down, down, and then a quick little 3-note burst. So we have this. So just try to get that feel first. Just practice that a few times. All right, so he just pretty much does that riff. Like I said, later on you'll hear something like this. So like throw another little hit in there after it. But that's the main riff that he actually plays at the very beginning, and then as it goes on, they'll add variations. The thing that changes is the ending. So we have this. So that first ending is this. Starts with a quick little down up on the low E, and then we have this hammer 10 to 12 on the low E. Hit that 12 a couple times. Back to the 10. All right, same riff. And then, so this next ending, a little bit different. Starts with a couple of hits on the open string, and then hammer 10 to 12 again. And then it's basically, instead of ending with the 10th fret on the low E, you're ending on the 10th fret of the A string. All right, the third time through is the same as the first. All right, and now the fourth time through, that ending is going to hammer 10 to 12 on the low E, and then hit the 10th fret 4 times on the A string, and end it on the 12th fret of the A string. All right, now he goes into a different feel. Looks like this. All right, so that is just kind of down, down, up, a little quick. So down, then down, up on the low E string, and then we have 2 12s just with downstrokes. The open, so it's all downstrokes here. You can just keep doing downstrokes. So the riff, there's the very beginning is a little burst, and then it's just 12, 12, 0, 10, 0, 12. All right, so coming out of that riff, once again we have different ending each time. We hit the 12th fret twice, then the 10th fret on the A string, 12th fret on the low E, and a quick open E as you move up to 14, 13, 12 on the A. So let me do that riff slow. Now we do the same riff just with a different ending. So that's saying, instead of doing 14, 13, 12, we're doing 13, 12, 10. Then repeat the same way as the first. Now this time, instead of going 13, 12, 10 on the A string, you do 13, 12, and then over the 10th fret on the low E there. So bottom note is on the low E. All right, from there we go to a little hammer-on lick. And there was a little kind of layered guitar part overdub there, so I'll explain that when we get there. All right. Low E open, this one's easy to play. Open, then pick it again, hammer 10, 12 on the low E, over to 10 on the A string. Now we just do that again, open, hammer 10, 12, over to 10 on the A, so this. The third time here, after you hammer to the 12th fret, you, instead of landing on the 10th fret of the A, you go to the 12th fret on the A, slide to 14, back to 12 on the low E. So we start with just a low E by itself, then we start the hammer-ons. Low E, again, repeat. So after the third time, we just go. So that's a little solo guitar line that's doing that, and there's this overdub over that. Live, I think he just plays those two notes. But what that is he repeats that 14, 13, 12 twice, then does it over on the D string once, then on the G string, and then we have a little 12, 14 on the high E, and then bend that up. Now over that we have this, with that bend we have this, which is just a bend. You're holding the 14 on the G and the 15 on the B together, and you bend those up along with that top note. I think live he does this. Maybe he does the melody note, then he goes into those double stops because it sounds a little bit bigger. All right, so that is it for Hetfield's a little solo section there. That's actually it's probably trickier. Maybe not as fast with all the gymnastics, but rhythmically a lot trickier than Kirk Hammett solo or whatever. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a fun song to get under your fingers, some really cool riffs and some fun solos. See you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.